Hello folks, welcome to the first preview of the season. We're going to look at the three leagues for this coming weekend. The 17th of April is the Saturday. Firstly, we're going to start with the Northern League. I'm going to just run through the fixtures and I'm going to pick a couple of games in each division to point out and highlight the games that I think would be the games of the day if you were a neutral. Okay, so in the Northern League, we've got Fleetwood at home to Longridge, Fulwood at home to Blackpool, Kendal at home to Chorley, Lancaster at home to Netherfield, Leyland at home to Garstang, and Morecambe at home to St Anne's. And the games I've picked out there, one of the games I've picked out is Kendal against Chorley. Now, they're both generally middle of the table. Kendal have had a trip down to the Palace Shield and came back up pretty swiftly. They're generally mid-table. Good all-round sides, quite competitive, and Chorley always seem to pull something out of the bag that you don't expect it really. So Kendal versus Chorley is one of the games to look at. That'd be decent if you're a neutral. But the game of the day for me is Leyland against Garstang. Now, I mentioned early on that Leyland, along with Blackpool, would be my favourites to win the Northern League. So Leyland at home to Garstang. Garstang play Blackpool the following week as well. They're at home to Blackpool, so they need a good start to Garstang. I'm not sure if the pro's got here. If he hasn't, they might be in a bit of bother. So Leyland against Garstang is my game of the week in the Northern League there. Once again, we're going to come up with the results on Sunday mornings for you and just run through who beat who and any sort of notable performances in each of the three leagues. So the second league we're going to look at is the Palace Shield. Again, I'll run through the fixtures again. Barrow against Vernon Carus, Croston against South Shore, Eccleston against Preston, Fylde against Kirkham and Wesham, Great Eccleston against Penrith, and Penwitham against Thornton Cleveland. Now, the two games I've picked out are picked out for a reason because, firstly, Penrith, they're away at Great Eccleston. They used to play in the Northern League of Penrith. They won't have seen anything quite like Great Eccleston before. It's a lovely setting, but it's very different to what they're used to, and it's a long drive. It's a heck of a long way for Penrith, but that's what's happened. They've come down to the Palace Shield and they've got a long drive. Interesting to see how Penrith get on at Great Eccleston. But the game of the day for me is Barrow against Vernon Carus. Now, Vernons have always been right up there knocking. They've won the Palace Shield before, I'm sure, a number of times. Got a good side, and they've got a long journey up to Barrow. That's going to take them. It's going to take them an hour and 3/4 to get there because I live at Carnforth. It takes me nearly an hour to get to Barrow, so it's going to take me a while to. It's going to take them a while to get from Vernons to Barrow. That's my game of the day because we just don't know where Barrow are. To be fair, be interesting to see how they get on. So those are my two games of the day, Barrow against Vernons and Great Eccleston against Penrith. If I was a neutral, that's where I'd be going. Into the Westmoreland League now, we'll look at Burnieside against Arnside. Again, this ageing Arnside team, it's going to give way eventually. And Burnieside, typically quite strong, really. So Burnieside, Arnside, Carnforth against Bear. It's going to be interesting for Carnforth because they're at home to Bear. And then next week, they're away to Trimple, who are the other promoted club. So they play the first two games against the two promoted clubs. The Carnforth, one at home and one away. They need to be winning them. Pressure's on, I think, for Carnforth this year. They've won the league last 3 years. Pressure's on here. They need a good, quick start. They need to win both them games. They could have done with it coming a bit later in the season, but got to win them. Definitely. Heysham versus Shires Head, Sedgwick versus Milnthorpe, Silverdale versus Westgate, and Trimple versus Wharton. Now, my two games of the day, I'm going to go for Sedgwick Milnthorpe. That's an interesting sort of game, that. Sedgwick, I think, might be up there and thereabouts. Milnthorpe have been up there in previous years, but they've sort of dropped away and they've been fighting against relegation a little bit, sort of mid-table. Sedgwick Milnthorpe, I think that's a decent game, that for a neutral. But the game of the day, without any questions, Heysham Shires Head. They're going to be the two sides. They're going to be up there. Shires Head have won it recently. Heysham usually up there. Big change of players for Isham normally. I think Graham Cassidy's there this year. That could change. Sometimes it does right at the last minute. We don't know. I think Isham Shireshead is the game to go to in the Westmoreland League without a shadow of a doubt. I'd please say to you guys, try and get all your play cricket results on and your scorecards if you can. I'm doing a results show. It'll be broadcast on Sunday morning, probably mid to late morning. I'll do the best I can. And while you're here, just as a quick aside, something for you to look for in the Bradford League. Within that, they run a cup competition for teams from all over Yorkshire. That's called the Heavy Woollen Cup. It's one of the oldest cup competitions in the world. It's open to 32 teams normally, but I think this year there's only 28. To qualify to enter, your ground has to be within 18 miles of Batley Town Hall as the crow flies. So teams from all different leagues come into it. There's sometimes some funny results. I've just picked a couple of games out. I'll try and post a link to the Bradford League. I might look at the results of these two games on Sunday. I might not do, but it's called the Heavy Woollen Cup, and you access it through the Bradford League website. Two games that caught my eye is Hanging Heaton. They're from the Bradford League, and they were in this Yorkshire Knockout Cup, like the Champions Trophy a couple of years ago. I don't know whether they actually played the final in Dubai or whether they got to the semi-final, because the semis are normally played at Scarborough and Headingley, and then the final was in Dubai one year. Which is really bizarre. Hanging Heaton, so they're at home to Shepley, who are from the Huddersfield League Premier Division. That'll be a good game. But the game of the day for me is Castleford, who are in the Yorkshire Premier League North, which is one of the 4 leagues where the winners play for the Yorkshire Champions Trophy. We need something like that in Lancashire, really. So Castleford are in the Yorkshire Premier League North, and they're at home to Kirkburton, who are out of the Huddersfield League Premier Division. So that's a game to watch. Castleford versus Kirkburton and Hanging Heaton versus Shepley. Fingers crossed for a good weekend, guys. Keep in touch with your clubs and your COVID restrictions. Try not to get too overexcited with things. Let's have a good weekend and see if you can look for the results show on Sunday morning. Thanks for watching, guys.